Hey beautiful, I hope you are taking care of yourself. Today, you and Queen Zani are going to talk about version 3.1 special program, upcoming banners, new skins, echo sets, and a few important updates you really don't want to miss. Before we jump in, quick reminder, there's a Lunite subscription giveaway in this video. All you need to do is like the video and leave a comment down below. Now let's talk about the version 3.1 special broadcast. The version 3.1 live stream is scheduled to go live on January 23rd, 2026, and this will be the first special broadcast of the year. During the live stream, we'll be getting redeem codes worth 300 Astrite, so you definitely don't want to miss it. And if you can't watch the stream live, don't worry, I'll post all the redeem codes in my community tab as soon as they're available. As for the actual version 3.1 update, it's expected to drop on February 5th, 2026. Just like last time, the live stream is happening early, so there will be a short wait between the broadcast and the update release. Now let's move on to the version 3.1 banners and what we currently know. In Phase 1, we're expecting the Aemeath banner, along with chisa and Luuk rerun banners. The featured 4-star characters for this phase are Mortify, Tauchi, and Alto. Then in Phase 2 of version 3.1, we're expecting the Luuk banner, alongside Galbrina and Canarella rerun banners. The featured 4-star characters in this phase are Sanhua, Lumi, and Yuanwu. Alright, now that we've covered the basics, let's talk a little more about Aemeath and Luuk. First up, we have Aemeath. She's a 5-star fusion character who uses a sword, and she's designed to be a main damage dealer. What makes her stand out is that she doesn't fight in just one way. She can switch between her normal form and a mech form, and you're expected to flow between the two during combat. The mech isn't a summon or a cooldown gimmick. It's part of her normal combo loop. You attack as Aemeath, switch into the mech to extend the combo, then switch back again. Aemeath also has 2 combat modes, and you choose which one fits the fight. One mode, called Tune Rupture, is focused on single target damage, so it's best for bosses. In this mode, her damage gets better when her teammates also apply tune-related effects, so she feels very synergy-based. The other mode, Fusion Burst, is more about area damage, where enemies keep triggering explosions around them. This mode is much better for clearing groups and feels more aggressive and chaotic. Mechanically, she revolves around building energy through attacks. As you fight, you fill up her gauges, which unlocks stronger versions of her attacks and special states where heavy attacks hit much harder and charge faster. When everything is fully charged, she can use her ultimate finisher, Heavenfall Edict Finale, which is a massive burst of fusion damage and the main reward for managing her resources properly. And if we talk about Luuk, he is a 5-star Spectro gauntlet main DPS character. Luuk spends a lot of time fighting in midair. Jumping, plunging, dodging in the air, and flashing toward enemies are all part of his normal gameplay. Many of his strongest attacks and damage loops require him to be in the air. His main mechanic revolves around Ichor Flow, which he builds by attacking. Once that gauge is full, he enters a special state called Aura Judge. In this state, his resonance skill becomes much stronger, but it also starts consuming Ichor Flow instead of regenerating it. So Luuk's gameplay naturally becomes a short burst window, build energy, enter Aura Judge, unload powerful skills, reset, and build again. What really defines Luuk is his resonance skill cycle. Instead of one skill, he has 3 versions of the same skill that rotate in order every time you use them. One resets his air combo, one dashes and cuts through enemies, and one throws down a core that later explodes. You're meant to use all 3 in sequence while staying airborne. Luuk also heavily interacts with Tune Strain mechanics. He gets noticeably stronger when enemies are affected by Tune Strain interfered, and he scales even harder if teammates help trigger Tune breaks. Because of this, he performs best in teams built around Tune synergy, rather than as a completely self-sufficient DPS. His ultimate is straightforward compared to his base kit. It's a big hit of Spectro damage that benefits massively from all the setup he's done beforehand. If you use it after stacking his buffs correctly, it hits much harder than it looks on paper. Moving forward, let's talk about the new story and map. In version 3.1, we're getting a brand new story quest, along with around 5 new areas to explore. So yeah, if you enjoy exploration, this update is looking really good. Plenty of new places to run around, loot, and uncover lore. On top of that, version 3.1 is also adding a new weekly boss, This boss is a robot, and it's not coming alone. Along with it, we're getting a bunch of new echoes, which means more build options and more farming to do. We're also getting a new hologram challenge called Reactor Husk, so expect another tough fight for players who like endgame content. Now, let's talk about some of the new echoes. First up, we have Singilum. It deals strong fusion damage. It's straightforward and great for quick bursts or clearing enemies. If Singilum is equipped in the primary slot and you're using Aemeath, it also boosts Aemeath's resonance liberation damage by 25%, making it especially good for players who rely on Aemeath's ultimate. Then we have Nameless Explorer. It's a damage-focused echo. When you activate its echo skill, it deals heavy arrow damage to everything it passes through. It's simple, fast, and great for hitting multiple enemies at once. When equipped in the primary slot, it also passively boosts the resonator by increasing their arrow damage and echo skill damage, making it an excellent choice for arrow characters who rely heavily on echo skills for their damage. Now let's talk about new echo sets. Let's start with Trailblazing Star. The 2-piece effect is simple. If your character deals fusion damage, they just get 10% more of it. No thinking required. The interesting part is the 5-piece effect. When your character applies Fusion Burst or Tune Rupture to enemies, then shifts, basically swaps out. The next resonator on the field suddenly becomes much stronger. They gain a big crit rate boost and extra fusion damage, but only for about 8 seconds. Now Chromatic Foam feels similar at first, because it also boosts fusion damage, but the way it plays is very different. Again, the 2-piece just gives you more fusion damage at all times. The 5-piece effect kicks in when the character applies Fusion Burst. At that point, they get a fusion damage bonus that lasts a pretty long time, 15 seconds, which already makes it easier to maintain. But here's where it really stands out. While that buff is active, if you use an outro skill and switch to another character, the incoming resonator gets a massive fusion damage boost of their own. That's why Chromatic Foam feels more like a team-oriented set, perfect when you want one fusion character to support another fusion DPS. Finally, Sound of True Name is much more straightforward and fast-paced, especially compared to the fusion sets. The 2-piece bonus just increases arrow damage, which is always useful for arrow characters. The 5-piece effect triggers when you deal damage with an echo skill. Once that happens, your echo skills suddenly become more reliable because their crit rate goes up, and you also get extra arrow damage for a short time. The duration is only 5 seconds, but the key thing is that using echo skills again refreshes it. So as long as your character keeps using echo skills, the buff basically keeps rolling. This set is clearly made for arrow characters who are very active and rely heavily on echo skills, rather than long setup or swapping tricks. Now let's talk about some really exciting news. In version 3.1, our Rover is getting a brand new skin. Yes, you heard that right. The skin is expected to be school-themed, which already sounds super cute and fun. Honestly, I'm really curious to see how it turns out, but what about you? Are you excited for a school-themed Rover skin? Now, let's move on and talk about the version 3.1 events. First up, we have Mercedes-Benz Speed and Passion. This event is basically about testing a special research motorcycle called Aemeath that was created to help students learn how to drive safely. To join, you need to be level 8 and have unlocked the research motorcycle by progressing the Tide quest, Starlight Under the Ice Field, or by reaching and leaving Starlight Academy. Once the event starts, you choose a resonator, equip them with special event gear, and take on a series of racetrack challenges. As you race, you collect enhancement modules that improve Aemeath's stats and equipment, and finishing all the tracks completes the test. If you forget to claim rewards before the event ends, they'll be mailed to you as long as you log in within 30 days. The event also adds a max-level Icefield motorcycle expansion module, which boosts speed and kinetic burst speed when riding on ice, making icy tracks much easier to handle. Alright, let's slow this down and talk through these quality-of-life updates. First up is the Exploration Motorcycle update, and this is probably the most eye-catching one. The motorcycle now has a new function called Frost Dash. What this does is let your exploration motorcycle move on water, instead of stopping you the moment you hit a river or lake. It's not fully turned on by default in the test server, so you won't always see it active, but you can try it out in water that's deep enough. The easiest way to imagine it is like how Lahai Roy's Silver Flame Cloak works. You're basically skimming across the surface rather than sinking. For exploration, this means way fewer interruptions and much smoother travel when crossing watery areas. Now, let's talk about the motorcycle skill tree, because this is more than just a small tweak. The devs added new expansion modules to the motorcycle's upgrade system. Instead of the bike being a static tool, you can now actively upgrade it through training and progression. As you unlock these modules, you gain new buffs and effects that improve how the motorcycle performs. The last big part of this update is movement and control optimization. This one doesn't sound flashy, but you'll definitely feel it while playing. Some basic character movements and controls have been polished, especially for certain resonators. The goal here is smoother inputs, cleaner transitions, and less awkwardness when moving, dodging, or chaining actions. It's the kind of change that doesn't scream at you, but after playing for a bit, everything just feels more responsive. In short, this update is all about making exploration faster, traversal more flexible, and moment-to-moment movement feel better without changing how the core game plays. So that's all I've got for today. If anything changes, Zani will make sure to update you guys right away. And hey, if you've watched till the end, you're an absolute legend.